The final part of Skew Boreholes then is trying to find the apparent dip. So really what the apparent dip is, in a nutshell, is that it's the dip at any other angle other than the strike angle. Okay, so when you look along the strike, you find what the true dip is because you're seeing the skew bore or the skew lines for your head wall and your foot wall straight in. So you're looking perpendicular to them and you're getting what the actual dip is. The apparent dip is finding those what appear to be parallel lines in any other angle. Okay, so a different angle to the one that we're used to doing in terms of the strike. Okay, so that's all you need to think about it. So normal dip, so proper, the true dip is looking along the strike. The apparent dip is looking at any other angle other than the way that the strike is looking. So what we have here is that for the first part, it is finding the strike, the dip, and the thickness, same as normal. The second part here is determine the apparent dip of the section of the stratum on a vertical section through A that trends in a southerly direction. Okay, so what we're doing here is find the apparent dip when we take a section, a vertical section through A in a southerly direction. So what you'll see here for that is that there is a section taken here from a southerly. And again, remember, if we're looking at southerly, that means a plan. Okay, so there is our vertical section. So imagine when we're thinking about vertical sections, think about the earth being like a cake. If you cut the front off a cake, you'll see all of the different layers. Okay, and basically what we're doing is we're looking at what we would see if we were to take the knife down through this angle. Okay, when we go to do it, rather than when the strike in this question we would have been looking perpendicular to it, so you would have been taking a cut through in that direction. Okay, so what we got to do with this is that we are going to use the same construction as we used when we had a third borehole. Okay, in that we are going to take our points. So for this, we're going to take our points from the view where we found the actual dip, so the true dip and the thickness, and we're going to use points from that to be able to find the apparent dip in this view. So what we have to remember first of all is that if we want to see the apparent dip, we need to look in perpendicular at our vertical section. Okay, so our vertical section would be here. That vertical section could be at any different angle around A, but in this case it's straight down southerly. So what we would do for each one of these then is we would take a point. So say if we had C here, let's get this as a line. So we have C up into my view up here. That would give me the point S and the point T. Okay, so we have 2 points there. Then we will project from C then into my new auxiliary, okay, which with the X and Y1 line parallel to whatever angle, whatever direction our vertical section is taken in. And I would put S and T in there, so I'd have my height for S and T, which I would have taken from this view up here. And then I would go and take another line. In this case, they've gone from A again, but it could be anywhere along this. Okay, when you went to look for it, but what we have is we have from A here coming up, and that gives us P and Q. Okay, and then taking that, projecting it from down here in the plan to our new auxiliary again, we would then put in the heights for P and Q taken from the auxiliary in there. So those two heights put in. Then once you join those up to each other, so ST and TQ and SP, we get where the stratum would be if we were to cut it at this point. So like seeing the cake at that, and when we're cutting it from that angle, and this is what it's looking like. And we would then get in there, we would have our apparent dip. Okay, so apparent dip is just what the dip would look like in that particular place, but not the actual true dip. The true dip has to look along the strike, but the apparent dip can look at any other angle other than what the strike would be at. Okay, and then you have your two lines here which are appearing parallel at that point, and or sorry, at that section, the vertical section taken southerly in this direction, and that gives us what our apparent dip is. Okay, and so you can only have one true dip, so the only one true dip at the strike, but you could have an infinite number of apparent dips depending on what angle they asked you to project these around at. Okay, so southerly could be northerly, east, west, or anywhere in between those when it came to that.